Hello guys, I am Yasir Ali. In this tutorial we will discuss hydraulic release GS spear tool. So as you know that we are discussing the fishing tools, and hydraulic release GS spear tool is one of the type of the fishing tool. So before going ahead, we'll just recap about the spear retrieval tool. So in our previous tutorial we have discussed that spear retrieval tool is a fishing tool which is used to latch a fish with internal profile. As we can see that here is a fish which have the internal profile, and here is the tool which is known as spear. So this tool will engage the fish internally. So the tool which engage the fish internally or catch the fish internally is known as spear. It goes inside the fish and engages into the profile and then remove the fish out of hole. This tool is known as spear. We have already discussed in detail in our previous tutorial. We also have seen that depending upon the latching mechanism, spear retrieval tool fall into two types, that is spear with dogs and spear with slips. Here is spear with dogs, which is used for a fish which have a specific profile, and here is the spear with slips, which is used for fish which don't have the specific profile, that is which don't have any internal fish neck. Then we will use slips. Now depending upon the releasing mechanism, we have two other types of the spear tool, that is hydraulic release spear and mechanical release spear. Now in this particular tutorial our target is to understand this first type, that is hydraulic release spear tool. So let's go to our main topic and understand hydraulic release GS spear. Hydraulic release spear retrieval tool is one of the most common type of retrieval tools run on coil tubing for fishing applications. It is shown in this diagram. This particular tool is the hydraulic release GS spear tool. Before we discuss the working mechanism of hydraulic release GS spear, let's see that what is the benefit of hydraulic release GS spear over the mechanical release GS spear. So the benefit is that we can latch and relatch many times in a single run, whereas with the mechanical release tool, if unlatched fish once, we cannot latch again in the same run. Simply with hydraulic release GS spear tool, we have the option to catch and uncatch, catch and free the fish multiple times. Whereas with the mechanical release tool, if we have to unlatch the fish, then we will not relatch again in one run. We have to bring the tool on the surface, redress again and go again into the wellbore. So we have much more benefit of the GS spear tool with the hydraulic release mechanism. That is the reason that most of the time with coil tubing we run this tool, that is hydraulic release GS spear tool. Talking about the working mechanism of flow release spear, the flow through an orifice at the bottom of the tool creates an internal pressure in the tool. Here we can see that the spear have a orifice at the bottom. So we will pump. When we will pump through this spear, there will be a back pressure which will develop inside the tool. This pressure moves a piston, pulling the locking dogs upward into the release position. So this back pressure which will be developed due to the flow will move a piston which is inside this spear in the upward direction, and ultimately these dogs will be closer, will go into the releasing position. I will explain again that we will pump through the spear. This flow rate or fluid pumping will create a back pressure, and there is a piston inside the spear. So this piston will move in upward direction and will ultimately move these dogs into the closer position, that is into the releasing position. And so this is the working mechanism of a hydraulic release GS spear tool. Different orifice sizes can be chosen when redressing the tool. A large orifice require a high pump rate to achieve tool release. Of course, this is a working of the pressure and rate. If you have the bigger orifice, then we need high pump rate to build the back pressure, and if we have the smaller orifice, then we need less flow rate to build the required pressure to move the piston upward direction. So in this way, by choosing the orifice size, we can design the required flow rate at which our tool should be activated, that is it should move to the release position. When the flow is stopped, a spring pushes the piston and the dogs spring back into the latched position. So when we will be pumping, these dogs will be in the release position. When we will stop the pumping, there is a spring inside the sphere. This spring will push the dogs into the original position, that is into the latched position. So this was the discussion about GS sphere tool. I hope that you got understanding regarding what we have discussed. In our upcoming tutorial, we will discuss that how to latch and unlatch a GS sphere tool.